Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Imagine this. You wake up on your wedding night expecting a calm celebration, and then, boom, you find a secret treasure hidden away for many years. Today I'm going to tell you the unbelievable true story of a rich heir who discovered a mysterious hidden treasure on his very wedding night, and what he did next shocked everyone. Stay with me because this story is full of surprises, fun science, and a message that will warm your heart. Let me tell you a little about our hero, Alexander. Alexander is a billionaire heir. Yes, he comes from a family that is very rich. But more than money, his family has a long, magical history that is full of secrets. Ever since he was a little boy, Alexander loved adventure. While other kids played with toys, he loved to read old books and imagine daring quests. He always dreamed of finding a hidden secret that connected him to his past. Now, on the day of his big wedding, everything was perfect. The wedding was held in a huge, beautiful mansion that had been in his family for many, many years. The halls were decorated with old portraits, fancy lights, and colorful flowers. Everyone was smiling, the music was joyful, and the stars were twinkling in the night sky. But little did Alexander know that his wedding night would soon become the start of a brand new adventure. As the reception ended and the guests had gone home, Alexander and his new wife Charlotte retired to the old family mansion's private wing. It was quiet now, and the only sound was the gentle creak of the old wooden floors. Alexander couldn't help but notice something odd in one of the dimly lit corridors. There was a door that he had never seen before. It looked old and dusty, much like a secret waiting to be told. Curious, Alexander picked up a mysterious old key that he had received from his grandmother long ago. A key he always believed would open a door to something special. With trembling hands, he went to the door, gently inserted the key, and slowly turned it. The door swung open with a creak that sounded like an old whisper. Inside was a small hidden room, and at the very center of that room lay a large ancient chest covered in cobwebs. Now let me explain how this chest is not just any old box. The chest was made with very strong wood and had metal hinges that were decorated with strange symbols. Alexander carefully lifted the heavy lid. Inside, he saw piles of shiny gold coins, sparkling jewels of many colors, and an old folded piece of paper. It looked just like a treasure chest from a pirate story, but real. As he opened the paper, he found a message written in beautiful old handwriting. The message said something very simple but powerful. Share with those in need. Now here is where some cool science comes in. After the treasure was discovered, experts came and used simple tools like magnifying glasses, metal detectors, and special lights to study each item. They found that even the smallest coin had marks that showed which tool a very skilled craftsman had used long ago. It was almost like reading a history book written by time itself. Even if you think about it, it is a bit like playing a fun treasure hunt video game where clues help you unlock new levels. But this was real life, and every coin, every jewel had a story of its own. Now, what happened next is what really shocked everyone. Most people might think that if you are very rich, you would keep all your treasure for yourself. But guess what? Alexander did something completely different. Instead of hiding this wonder from the world, he decided to share his treasure with everyone. That same night, after closing the chest, Alexander and Charlotte sat down together. They talked for a long time about what the treasure meant. Alexander remembered the message, share with those in need. And it suddenly became very clear to him that the treasure wasn't just about money or jewels. It was about family, about history, and about giving back. So the next morning, when the sun was shining and the birds were singing, Alexander arranged a big celebration. He invited not only his close family and friends, but also many people from his town. At the celebration, he told them the entire story of the secret room, the mysterious chest, and the magic message inside. Everyone listened closely, and even the grown-ups couldn't help but smile, and a few even cried with joy. His actions showed that it wasn't just about being rich, it was about having a kind, brave heart. Let's take a closer look at what made this treasure so special. Inside that chest were items that were made many, many years ago. A group of scientists who also love adventure just like us use simple tools to learn more about the treasure. They use things like metal detectors. These beeped when they were near the coins. It works like a magic wand that finds metal behind walls. Magnifying glasses. They help the scientists see tiny details on the coins that we cannot see with our eyes. Digital scanners. These machines took pictures of the tiny letters and marks on the treasure, much like how you might scan a drawing on your tablet. By using these tools, the scientists could tell that the coins were made during a time when kings and queens ruled and when families planned secret acts of kindness to help others. In simple words, every bit of treasure was like a tiny note from the past saying, "We believed in sharing and we believed in love." I think that is really cool because it shows us that something as small as a coin can tell a story that is thousands of years old. It also tells us that technology isn't just for giant computers and video games. It can help us unlock mysteries and learn about our own history. Now let me share something funny that happened on that incredible night. As Alexander was exploring the secret room, he heard a soft bark. Yes, even the family dog, Max, was there. Max had been snoozing in a corner, but woke up at the strange sound of the creaking door. When Alexander opened the chest, Max jumped up and wagged his tail so hard he almost tripped over his own paws. It was as if Max wanted to say, "Wow, even I can't believe what I'm seeing here." That moment made everyone laugh later on because it reminded us that sometimes life surprises us in the funniest ways. Have you ever been so excited that you couldn't help but giggle? I bet you have. This little moment with Max became one of the most cherished parts of the story. Here's what I think. Treasure does not always mean gold or jewels. Sometimes treasure is the lesson we learn. When Alexander found the treasure on his wedding night, he found a lesson about love and kindness. He learned that his family's real wealth was not the coins or jewels, but the values and history that had been passed down through many generations. It reminds me of the time when I got a surprise present on my birthday. I thought I was just getting a toy, but then I discovered the gift was actually a puzzle that led to a secret message from my best friend. In a way, Alexander's treasure was like that puzzle. It wasn't just about finding something rare, but also about discovering what really matters in life. As Alexander dug a little deeper into the chest, he found one more surprise. There was a very old book with a faded cover and yellow pages that smelled like memories. This wasn't an ordinary book. It was his family's secret history. The book had drawings, old letters, and pictures that told stories of brave ancestors who had faced hard times, but always chose to help others. Imagine finding an old diary in your attic that tells the adventures of your great-great-grandparents. That book was like a window into the past, and it explained why every single treasure item in the chest was there. The book said that when hard times came, his ancestors hid this treasure as a way to remind future generations that the greatest power in the world is kindness. Every coin and jewel was a piece of that promise. I love how this story shows us that history can be fun and full of secrets. It tells us that our families have stories worth telling and that sometimes hidden in old chests are messages that can change our lives forever. After sharing the secret history with everyone at the celebration, something magical happened. Alexander did not keep the treasure locked away in a safe or hidden in his mansion. Instead, he decided to use it for something very special, the good of the community. He planned to build a big museum and community center right in his town. At this museum, children could learn about history through real treasures, and families could see how love and hard work made his family strong. Alexander even set up art classes and science workshops where kids could try out simple experiments similar to the ones the scientists did with the treasure. When the news broke out, people from many towns came to see the museum. Reporters, scientists, and families all marveled at how one magical night had changed so many lives. Everyone was talking about how a rich heir used his secret treasure not to buy more fancy things, but to bring joy, learning, and unity to everyone around him. Now let's take a moment to think about why this story is so amazing. Treasure has many meanings. For some, it might be gold or jewels, but as Alexander showed us, the best treasures are the lessons, the history, and the love that we share with others. Have you ever shared your favorite toy with a friend or helped someone in need? That feeling, the smile you see on their face, is a treasure too. Alexander's story reminds us that true wealth comes from giving, from caring, and from understanding where we come from. It teaches us that even on the most special days, like a wedding night, a hidden surprise can change the way we see our lives. This story also shows us a bit about how science and history can work together. Simple tools like a magnifying glass or a metal detector helped unlock secrets that were hidden for many years. It is a reminder that every discovery, no matter how small, has a big story behind it. Let's talk about another fun example. Have you ever been out in the garden and found a shiny rock or a pretty shell? At first, you might think it's just a rock, but then you imagine it could be a lost pirate coin or a piece of a giant hidden puzzle. That is exactly what happened to Alexander. His discovery made him feel like a real-life treasure hunter, just like in the movies or your favorite storybooks. And here's a silly thought. Imagine if every time you turned off a light, a little treasure started to glow in the dark. A secret surprise waiting for you. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? In a way, our world is full of these small treasures if we look closely. Alexander was lucky to find a very big one on his wedding night, and his big heart made that treasure even more powerful. We all know that sometimes challenges can hide beautiful surprises. Alexander's wedding night was a perfect example of that. Though he had a day filled with celebrations, he ended up with an adventure that touched the hearts of many people. His choice to share the treasure turned a night meant for just him and his new wife into a story that changed his whole community. Not only did his actions inspire people to be kind, but they also made us think about the things that are truly important. Wealth is not only measured in coins and jewels, it is also measured in our family stories, our community ties, and our own small acts of kindness. Today, the museum he started is not just about history. It is a place where every visitor can learn about the power of sharing and the magic of discovery. As I bring this amazing story to a close, I want you all to remember one thing. Each one of you has your own treasure inside. It might be your smile, your kind heart, or your curiosity to learn more about the world. Just like Alexander, you too can find surprises in your own life every day, even when you least expect them. I hope you enjoy listening to this full story about how a billionaire heir found a secret treasure on his wedding night and then shocked everyone by using it to make the world a better place. If this story made you smile or think about your own hidden treasures, please give this video a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another amazing story. Also, be sure to check out the special video on the end screen for more fun and unbelievable adventures that you will love. Thank you so much for watching, and always remember, the best treasure is the goodness inside your heart. See you in the next video.